Unless you walked in someone else's shoes, you don't know what led them to have that life. There's as many paths to the street as there are people out there.
When I was about 14, my dad told me about the SEAL teams and started doing a little bit of research, whatever I could find, and about the age of 15, I said, that's what I want to do.
Some people approach an issue and say, well, this issue is too big, I can't do anything about it. I know that by myself, I can't end hunger. But it doesn't matter how small your actions are, even if you don't realize it at the time, you're making a difference.
My family moved into East Harlem in the middle of the race riots when I was a baby. The experience of seeing almost all the lives lost of people you knew in your community forced me to search, I think, for answers that I thought were bigger.
I grew up having a garden in the backyard and an opportunity to have dinner with my family around a table every night. And I didn't realize until I got to school that food didn't work that way for a lot of people.
We didn't have that much growing up, and so I felt this incredible responsibility to be successful. At one point I had to literally stop and talk with one of my dearest friends, who's Vanessa, who started Girl Trek with me, and say, are you feeling like this? Are you feeling like this is setting ourselves up for early death?
Y'all hustling, you doing it!
We both started walking, and walking slowly but surely changed our lives.
Well, I was with some friends in the dining hall. It was near closing time. We were like, whoa, is that food that looks like it's going to waste? And they were like, yeah, it is. And we were like, can we donate that instead of throwing it away? And they were like, yeah, you can. Ever since then, it was like, dude, what if this was at every college?
I dressed like a homeless person. I got a book and I read about how to dress like a homeless person and mingle, and so that's how I got started. We would have to stretch ourselves into their world, into their reality. To me, that's a whole new frontier for rediscovering how healthcare should be delivered.
There was a little bit of pity for what had happened to me, and I just said, hey, nobody's going to come into my room feeling sorry for me. Nobody's going to come into my room crying because of the injuries that I've sustained. And I wrote that sign out on a piece of paper. It said, if you were coming into this room with sadness or sorrow, don't bother. The wounds that I received, I got in a job that I love, doing it for people I love, defending the freedom of a country I deeply love. The room you're about to enter is a room of optimism, fun, and intense rapid regrowth. I will make a full recovery. I'll do that through sheer mental tenacity and the will to overcome. If you're not prepared for all that, go elsewhere. And we signed it to management, and we hung it on the door. And a couple days later, a buddy stuck his trident in it, and somebody took a picture and it went viral. Both wounded warriors and people all across the country started to write and say, thanks, I can't tell you what that sign meant to me. I was going through something, and it made me reevaluate where I'm at.
I promise you, if you can commit just 30 minutes a day to your life, that it will be game-changing for you.
Girl Trek is saying, you know what, it's not okay. It's not okay that 53% of African American women are obese.
Reach the fingertips all the way up.
Instead of just talking about it, let's get to moving. We don't know the answer. None of us knows the answer, but let's walk and talk about it together.
We never solve anything in society by talking about how hard it is to do or that it's impossible. My ultimate dream is that we actually can grow this to the point where it changes economic inequality in America. And I actually think it can get that big. If we fail, it won't be for a lack of trying.
People sometimes ask me, did you ever envision this getting this big when you were on your very first recoveries? Me and my co-founders were really dreaming of this ever since our first few hauls, our first few weeks of getting 100, 200 pounds of food every night and just feeling like, wow, this is so much food. I can't believe all this food is getting thrown away.
We have either found or helped create street medicine programs in over 85 communities throughout the world in 5 continents. And I'd love to see it become a point of pride, a jewel in the crown for communities everywhere.
If you change the relationship children have to food, and if you give them access to healthy food, we're going to change a child's life for it.
I know some people might have a goal that when they were little they wanted to make world peace or they wanted to end hunger. When they see younger kids doing things for that issue, then they realize, wow, I can do something too. I can start to achieve one of my childhood goals. You never know what can grow from just one thing.